Oh, Tom.
I watched the video last week and got to see the meeting, so that was nice. There's Eric.
Morning, Sam.
Morning.
Hey.
Morning, all.
How are you?
If I seem a little slow this morning, I want you all to keep me going. I found out we didn't have any coffee in the house, so I'm drinking tea this morning.
Oh, Lord. Well, we'll say a little prayer for you.
Yeah, hold your
Honor
pinky
the
up.
Queen.
Here's
Hold your
the
pinky
prayer.
up while you're drinking
That's it. All right.
coffee.
I have a couple of things this morning. I want to do a shout out.
Oh, my God.
Y'all who were receiving the stuff in the mail should have gotten your mark. An interesting way for people to let people know that chapter 35 is alive and well is if you turn to page 72, where they have that, don't look at the answer, they have that crypto puzzle. Do the crypto puzzle and email the answer in and your chapter affiliation, and they'll print the chapter that has the most correct answers. So chapter 194 did it last time, but it'll be a way to let people know that 135 or 35 is alive and doing well. I've got the upcoming events real quick. We'll go over those. Something we hadn't talked about in previous weeks is the North Coast Regional. And I don't know what it's the North Coast of, but it's the Lake Erie chapter 28 is having their regional, and it's in November 4th and 5th. If you've never been to this regional, it's like in the host, Cynthia and I went up one year, it was like in the host hotel the night before. They had a potluck. They it's at a fairgrounds like, and it's a real nice regional. And that's the North Coast Regional, November 4th and 5th. If you go to the NAWCC events page, it says that a printable registration form is coming soon. Okay, and then we have the 2023 Kentucky Thoroughbred Regional, which is an event on the NAWCC event site, and that is in Lexington, Kentucky. There's no online registration for this event, but I haven't seen a link to the registration form, and there was not one in the mart. So we're all holding our breath and waiting for that. That's in Lexington on January 20th and 21st. So we're going to watch for that coming up because chapter 35 has agreed to do a lecture and a display. So I'm working on the lecture, which is about horological literature, books and stuff about horology, how to shop the mart for them, and what you're looking for. If you go all the way out to February, there's the Florida Midwinter Regional, February 13th through the 18th. And they advertise that, hey, if you want to meet your board of directors, come to this regional, because they're all going to be there. They're having their midwinter meeting, I guess, at that event. And then as I plug every week, keep your eyes out, the 80th National Convention. All kinds of things are going to be going on there. So we look forward to all of that. So good morning, Bob. We have our board representative here. If you read through the mart, there's Bob has an interesting section in there about what the chapter relations is all about. And I think it might be more effective if we had more people volunteering to be on the that committee local to Bob, or saw Bob every week, so we could get involved. And I'll be the first one. I'd like to volunteer to be on the chapter relations committee so that we can improve communication. Also in there, it says that that board members are encouraged to attend chapter Zoom meetings. And if you attend this one regularly, you know, we have at least one every week. We have two most weeks. We have sometimes our executive director is online. So it's a good thing for them to participate and see what's going on out in the chapters. When looking at the Lexington Regional, Sherry's not here this morning, but she's going to be our board representative at that local regional event. So we look forward to seeing her there. All right. I said this morning, we've mentioned several times and talked about the forum on the NAWCC site. And people have said, it's hard to get in. I can't do all that other stuff. So this morning, I thought I would try and share some of the tips and some of the things that I see in the forum that could encourage you and all those people that are watching this video to take a trip and go to the forum. So if you'll give me, I'm going to try and do this in a short amount of time, only because I practiced this. Okay, you should see on your screen, this is the NAWCC website. If you go to nawcc.org, this is their page. So it has all kinds of stuff on it, stuff from the forum, upcoming.
Not seeing it, Frank.
No
You're
page.
Seeing a stone wall, it looks like.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to go
Something
back
that says
here.
library lad.
Well, I
Is that
have,
one of your porn sites?
yeah, no. The library ladder is, okay, let's see if I can do this again and get, because I set this up.
How's retirement, Tom?
Going pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Going to be an adjustment.
Kind of weird waking up on a Monday and not having to go to work.
It is indeed.
You come to enjoy it, let me tell you.
Weird in a good way.
Uh-huh.
Do you see it now?
No, it
So we're
disappeared.
back to library lad.
Yeah.
While he's working on that, let me make a little report. I talked to Joe Wilkins last week. As far as I know, he's still in the hospital. They tried to move him once to rehab and they turned around and sent him back. And so he's still having a lot of trouble.
Oh my.
Yeah, they can't get his oxygen levels up. So just kind of keep Joe in your prayers. And he's very open to talking to anybody. He said he felt good enough to talk on the phone. So if you've got Joe's number, if you want it, you know, it might be nice to give him a call.
All right.
Yeah, he was still there. Sam, he was still there Sunday.
Do you,
Still
do you
waiting to
see
get
the
Trying to get him up and
NAWCC?
walk him a little bit.
Good.
Y'all see this NAWCC homepage now?
Yeah, we do now.
Okay, now I'm on the right page. So this is nawcc.org. If you want to go to the forum, you don't need to log in here. You just need to click this and go to the forum. It will take you to the forum page, right? So
Yeah, you probably need to sign in again though.
yeah, this is where you need to sign in. And if I wasn't logged in, there would be a message up here to log in. And you log in with your email and your password, and then you can still go to the forum and read a bunch of stuff and see a bunch of stuff without logging in. But if you log in, you see all the latest and greatest. One of the things I wanted to show you is under this tab, now that you're at the forum, under this tab at the forum, you can say, well, I remember I put up a tab, but I forgot where it was. You can go here and look at my threads. And what it'll do is we'll list all of the threads that you've started in all of the different areas of the forum. For instance, on Atmos clock from the beginning, I've started a thread there. and it's in the 400-day and Atlas clock. General clock discussion is usually where I go. Clock repair. And if I click on this, it'll take me directly to that thread. You can see this is what I've written and what the thread is about. Or you can click this banner and it will take you to that section of the forum. This was something that I discovered and I found, whoa, good, because I use the forum a lot and I forgot where I put that thread or asked that question. Something else that's interesting in the forum is new is the encyclopedia. If you go to the forum and come down here to the encyclopedia, what that is threads that people have started and people are contributing to that have specific information, like they're defining things. For instance, if I go to clock repair here under encyclopedia subjects, here are threads and it tells you who's been contributing to them and all that stuff. Like one of the questions I always ask is what's the right spring for this clock? Well, in this encyclopedia under clock repair is a thing that they've started or is available is this chart, and it lists the makers, the movement, the dimensions on it, the springs, whether it has a time and strike spring difference in the same thing. So that encyclopedia, count wheel basics. People have started loading in information here that is not only here's a chart, but I'm waiting for this to load up, but they also have put in illustrations. So this really is becoming like an encyclopedia where you can go and learn things on a specific topic. A lot of times I'll find the answer here or somebody will tell me to go there. Chime clock basics, bushing using hand tools. There's all kinds of things. And if you get too deep into the forum, you can always hit your back arrow and it'll walk you back out. Here's the encyclopedia. We'll go back. This was my threads. We'll go back to the forum itself. If you just want to do some reading and you want to post a general question, this is a good place where if you click on to the general clock discussion, they have some guidelines, how to attach photos, how to manage your item, how to write a good question, those kind of things. I like going through here because I see what other people are trying to fix and what other people are trying to figure out. Yesterday I was in here and a man was said that he had a German wall regulator or a German clock, and the pendulum kept stopping, if I can remember where it was. But when you went into it, he posted pictures and it showed that the suspension spring, the crutch was being held in the suspension spring by a twist tie. There were a lot of suggestions on how to fix that. But this is the forum, and this is a good place to go when you have a question about what is this clock, when was it made, all of those kind of things. You can see the categories are nice. They got clocks, clock repair, they have watches. I spend time in looking through the watches, the railroad watches, just to learn more about railroad watches. But I encourage you to use this resource that's available to you from the NAWCC website. And I'm going to try and promote more things at this website as we go on. But this is a place that I visit almost every day. So it's one of the things. Does anybody have a question or wondering
Sorry.
Okay, this was just a brief overview, and I encourage you to go and explore. Remember, if you get too far down the rabbit hole, if you just click your back arrow, it'll page you back to where you go. All right.
I was not aware of the encyclopedia, Frank. Is that fairly new?
Yeah, that's something they started in the last year, and it has great categories in it. In fact, if you have knowledge, horological knowledge, and you think would be good to share or collect ideas from a bunch of people, you can start a page in the encyclopedia yourself. And everybody that contributes, it says these are the people that are contributing to it. So.
But just like the section you pulled up with the diagrams, there's a lot of times when I still don't know exactly what pieces and parts are supposed to be called. So if you're trying to post a question to the group and you want to use the right terminology, it's a great place to go.
Yes, absolutely. So, all right. Well,
Good.
something else, Ken? I thought you were going to ask a question. All right. So that's what I wanted to share this morning. And we'll encourage you to go to the NAWCC website and explore the forum. Remember, you have to sign into the forum to have access to the latest and the greatest and all that is. And Rory said that they're working on making it a single login, but for now, you don't have to log into the main page. You can go right to the forum and log in there. So
Apparently it's extremely complicated to merge the two where you have a single sign in. Unbelievably, you'd think you'd punch a couple buttons and that would take care of it. And apparently they've got 3 or 4 different developers trying to figure out how to do it. Two totally different programs or providers or something, and they apparently do not want to merge.
So,
and they get so many complaints that you have to sign in a second time, and
Yeah.
it's like takes you an extra 5 seconds. So
well,
but you know how people are.
Yeah, you can do a single sign in by going to the NAWCC.org and just going straight to the forum and just sign in there. So, and when you log out, it logs you out of the forum. But if you did the double login, you have to go to the main page and log out of there also.
Before I got on, did Sam or Eric give a report on the thing this weekend at the?
No,
Not yet.
Frank's been,
No.
yeah,
No,
Bob and Sam were heroes. I got side shafted with some stuff, but I thought it was fantastic. Bob got interviewed on the radio live. I've been able to find the recording, and I've got it edited out. It's about 9 minutes of solid horological fun on the radio. I got to get permission now to rebroadcast it. I'll put it up on the YouTube with some photos. But, had a lot of interest.
Good
Very,
crowd.
very, very well attended. A lot of interesting stuff. A lot of very interesting people. I was afraid we'd just be back in the corner, as orphans, and because they set us up next to the first aid station for probably good reason, since we're probably the oldest people it's showing anything there. But yeah, a lot of young people that showed a lot of interest, and they loved Sam's flying Ignatz flying ball clock. That was probably by far the most interesting thing there.
Drew a lot of attention.
Oh, it did.
One fun thing was I had a alarm clock that ticked, and the little ones, I'd ask them if they'd ever heard a clock tick, and so many of them, they'd never had, and you could just see their eyes when you put that clock up to their ear. And then some of them said, "What's a clock?" Yeah, kind of expected that, but it was fun. It was fun. Ed
Yeah.
was there for a while and got to share in some of that fun, and I thought there was just real good interest shown for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I had,
maybe we'll do that again next year.
I had 3 QR codes set up for the Instagram, the YouTube, and the NAWC.org, and people were scanning those things all day. We got some new followers on Instagram. We got some really nice comments from people, how they enjoyed the exhibit. Yeah, it was you know, the Red Barn Pavilion. They did like it's like an audience, like demos and speeches and talking and panels. We do it next year and get Frank up there to do his talk on the public clocks.
Yeah, I didn't make it into a Red Barn. I wasn't sure what they were doing in there.
Yeah, I just ducked in just to take a look, and it's set up. I mean, there's a stage, there's 100 seats. You know, it's a good
Nice.
size. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the ballroom on the second floor, which is a really nice room. And then they had I think they call it all-purpose room, was about half that size.
Yeah.
And they stayed kind of filled up with folks. They had a robot that kind of reminds you of a dog running around. They had a robot that changed facial expressions like an automaton.
The battle robots or soccer robots for a bunch of kids to drive around.
Yeah.
Glass blowing and
Blacksmith.
The built a
CNC
rocket.
machines.
First build had a really good couple of setups there. So if you want to get to know the people at First Build, there's an opportunity there. Level 1, of course. And yeah, it was a lot of people.
We found out I don't know what his name or title is from GE. Bob, what's the guy's title? Head of GE?
Well, he's the head of the GE Appliances division here in Louisville. Kevin, I can't remember what his last name is.
Nolan.
He could not be there, but his assistant Larry something or other said that he was under orders to at least come and see us because he's very interested in clock making and stuff. Apparently, he's got his own CNC machine. And Larry said, I know it's a big one because I helped him carry it into his garage, but I'd love to get him involved. And also I met several people that are on the faculty at the Speed Engineering School that are very interested. One guy just moved here from Boston. He's been hired as the faculty for mechanical engineering, and he's probably going to give us a call. I'd love to get a couple of these guys involved. They're smart people.
That one young guy that walked up with his wife, and you look in his eyes, was like, oh, wow. It was like, this is a new hobby for me. And his wife was like, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was a lot of interest. And the kids just were blown away by the ignits and the wooden mechanism, the wooden movement.
Yeah, a lot of interest.
We're going to do a bigger table next year.
Yeah.
Kudos, Eric, for seeing that, bringing it up and driving that through. Anytime we can stand up and stand out is a good outreach.
Oh, Eric, I took your Instagram photos and shared them on my Facebook page, and I think we're up to about 50 likes so far. So getting a lot of exposure there too. So thanks.
Yeah, excellent.
Very good. Well, I think the only thing that you missed, Bob, before you came on was I encouraged people to do the crypto puzzle and send it in. We can see how many people in chapter 35 can get the answer right. See if we can get our name listed. That's it. So I'm going to have a tapping and dyeing lesson with Sam. I have to rebuild a pendulum shaft for a tall case clock, and it requires drilling and tapping and putting in a threaded rod into one end so that there is a rate adjustment, and then also to tap the rating nut so that it works. When I picked up this clock, the owner said, be careful, it's just wedged on there. And it was. A couple of wooden matchsticks were holding the pendulum bob where it needed to be. So that will be my lesson this week as we reach out, all of us trying to learn something new. What are you working on, Tom?
Got a couple 9-tube Hershey's in house. Got a Grand Sonnery, a couple other clocks. Getting ready to take a week, go down to Gatlinburg with Julie. So going to kind of lay low for the next week or two, and then we'll get back into it and I get back home.
That's great.
Watch out for bears.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if everybody heard that story or not, but Tom and Julie got close-up visit from a bear when they were down there a few years ago.
Yeah, $1,700 worth of damage in the minivan. So
Wow.
who knew that bears knew how to open van doors? But
And shut them.
They are resourceful bastards.
Cub got in and the door closed behind him. He couldn't get out. So he clawed and clawed and clawed. Yeah, it was. I still have photographs.
Yeah, he didn't.
But to answer the age-old question, does a bear poop in the woods? Not always. They really prefer the Honda Odyssey.
Well,
Yeah.
I said that once to my grandfather. Well, does a bear shit in the woods? He said, not a polar bear. I was like, God, you smart old man. Yeah.
Heck.
Anybody else got any projects going?
I'm working on an Atmos clock,
Oh, Lord.
and I'm thankful for Ken to encourage me. He said, sure, you can do it. So I'm watching many videos and things that he shared with me. And also I have found a man up in Minnesota that is very willing to share how to test the bellows, he's taught me a couple of things. So I'm always thankful for mentors, and I give them credit when I call out.
Hey, Frank.
Yeah.
I did order the Atmos repair video from the AWCI. I don't know if you have that. Have you seen it?
I don't know which one it is. But I'll look and
Okay,
see.
I'll get with you.
Okay. But there's the different Atmos 1, Atmos 2, Atmos 3. Then within each of those, there's different catalogs that are, this is the way it was put together. This is what has this weighted disc. Some have stripes, some have dimples. Just getting through identifying exactly which model and what year it was made and all was my first education. The proper cleaning fluids, the proper oils, and it only gets oiled 2 places. That's in the spring barrel and the arbors that go through the plates on the spring barrel. And that holds true for most Atmos except the newest ones. The newest ones actually have a lubrication chart, much like watches have, where you use different grades of lubrication in different places. And I thought, well, I'm glad I'm dealing with one from the 50s. It makes it much easier, but here's a clock that is run dry. So it's a lot of fun. That's what I'm working on. And because I'm a restorer, some of us here are restorers and some are collectors. That is the biggest difference between publications from the NAWCC and the AWCI, is that one is very much focused on restoration and the other one is focused on collection. So if you have the opportunity, you should see them both. Sonny, your latest AWCI is available electronically.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I haven't. They usually have news from the AWCI, and then occasionally say it's out. I didn't see that must have just come today, huh? Or yesterday.
Well, I get mine in the mail. I get the hard copy. So, but I know you said you wanted to know when, and Chuck is aware now how he can get an email that tells him that the NAWCC electronic publication is available online. You get that straightened out, Chuck?
No,
Not
I
yet.
haven't heard anything. Have you heard anything, Bob?
What's that?
I think what Frank said about getting the bulletin and stuff online automatically.
They're supposed to be sending it out. You must just not have been on that list or something. Because I think, didn't you get an email saying that about, for some reason, you know, their mailing list, about 10% of them don't seem to go through for one reason or another, but they are supposed to notify you, because I got the notification a day before I got the one in the mail. I think it was over Labor Day that it was available, and I downloaded and read it while I was sitting here at the table. So, and I think you responded to them, didn't you?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
I
hopefully they've
didn't
got you back on the list. See if it comes up in 2 months. But on a different subject, I think I sent some of you the video that Fran Geyer and Jeff Parker had done for prior to the Chattanooga regional, you know, kind of promoting it on their, I think it was the Chattanooga morning show. Turns out they got 64 public members to attend the regional. They had almost 400 attendees. Considering we had 850 at the national, I'd say that's a pretty good turnout. They had 64 people coming in from the public. I think what they did is a couple hours into the mart, they allowed the public in, and I think they charged them $10. So very, very successful. So, and I want Fran to write an article for our chapter relations newsletter to go out to how she did it, because they did other things also. And Jeff Parker, I think, will be elected to the board next year, and I think he is very, very savvy as far as social media and internet. I think he's the head of internet security for Blue Cross Blue Shield or something like that. So very, very intelligent guy. Looking forward to have him on the board. I think he's already been working. Hello, Rory. I've already been working with Rory, as I recall, Jeff saying. So be a good addition. So
Yeah. Now, the only squawk I ever heard about letting the public in and charging them was people were saying, wait a minute, as a member, I had to pay $25 to get in. But you're letting the public in for 10?
yeah, but that's it. It's typical damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah.
You know, at the national, you know, it basically, if you wanted to get in as the public, I think you had to join for a year, and it was about $95. So, you know, it's a tough nut to crack. It's, you know, somebody that's never been to one, how in the world do you expect them to pay $95 to walk in the door? It's one of those dilemmas that we've been facing for years. How do you do it?
Well,
If you want the public, you've got to make it accessible. And if you want to, you know, please the members, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the membership shouldn't be $95.
Well, that if everybody donates enough money to our endowment, we wouldn't have to.
Right. When we had the national here in Louisville, the way that we avoided that was with the help of the NAWCC. They had established a short time membership, which was it was like $25, and you got 2 months access to everything the NAWCC has available, and that would ensure that you got one publication.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we did. Was when the public came up, we just signed them all up for that short-term membership. So
What you're saying is that wasn't long-term feasible because they didn't maintain it.
Right.
well,
They
don't know.
did that. They actually did that for a number of years. I think they've recently dropped that. If I'm not mistaken, Rory, you might. Do you have any information on that 3-month thing? I think they did that for a number of years.
Mhm.
But I think, you know, running the figures, I think the number of people that actually renewed after the 3 months were minimal
Wow.
at best.
but it did stop people from arguing that you're letting the public in cheaper than what we're paying to come into because to get into was a $25 registration. It was the same amount as the short-term membership. So that was how I avoided that debate. But all right. So I always try to keep these to 30 minutes or less. I want to encourage you again, maybe my little walk through the forum and how to navigate the forum will encourage you to go exploring and ask a question and do some reading. And it's a great place to learn. I agree with Tom's comment about if you want to know about what nomenclature, that encyclopedia is a great place to go. All right. Well, anything else this week? Otherwise, I still encourage you to take care of yourself, mask up, wash your hands.
Wait a minute, Rory, any comments from you? Anything going on?
No, I'm sorry, I was unable to join at the beginning of the meeting, but as ever, I've picked up a few interesting points. Yeah, I'm very aware of the issues about trying to encourage the public in to our conventions, marts, at a lower cost. And I'm strongly in favor of bringing the public in. But yeah, we'll have to tread carefully as we're in the planning stages for Lancaster, and we really want to make a spectacle on the Saturday that will appeal to the public, because we do want to get people in as members, and yeah, we need to have our arms open, but we need to be mindful of our long-standing members as well. So how we walk that tightrope, I'm not sure. But any suggestions, advice, please do ping me a message. Be very pleased to hear from you.
Well, if you don't get them in the door, you're not going to be able to do anything with them. So
yeah, but if you skip the video, early in the video, there was the report on the Maker's Mark and how enthusiastic the public was at the things that Chapter 35 took and demonstrated. So keep looking for those outreach opportunities, and we will see you all on the little screen next week. At least we're 6 feet away, right? All right. Thank you all for being here.
see you all next week.
Hey,
Bye.
take care. Stay safe.